Good morning, students. Welcome to online class. Today we are going to see the first empire, that is chapter 8. The first part of this lesson we are going to discuss today from history. Let me see the first empire and the kingdom. What is the difference between the empire and kingdom? So the learning objectives. What are all the points we are going to discuss here? Empire and dynasty, rise of Mauryan Empire. And in the second part, we will see about the Asoka the Great, War of Kalinga and Ashoka's inscription, and Ashoka's Dhamma and his message for the future generations of Indian civilization. Let me see one by one. So, the Mauryan Empire, the first great Indian empire, is here, Chandragupta Maurya. Ashoka the Great, following him, he also the great empire. So, about his war and his inscription, we will see in the second part. Let me see Alexander in India. He's a very great person. Let me discuss about him. So, Alexander the Great was the ruler of Macedonia and Greece. He dreamt of establishing a world empire. He attacked and conquered many places to the northwest of modern day India. And he wanted to conquer India, but his tired soldiers refused to travel further. So, Alexander was forced to turn back from the river Beas in 326 BC. But he didn't just go back by forcing of his soldiers. He left behind Greek officers in charge of the territories he had conquered. Though Alexander never conquered India, his attempt to do so had a great impact on the Indian subcontinent. By weakening the states that lay along the northwest, he paved the way for the establishment of the Mauryan Empire. So, Alexander paved the way for the establishment of the Mauryan Empire. How are empires different from kingdoms? Let me see. So, here the empires need more resources than things because empires are larger than kingdoms and need to be protected by big armies. They are large countries or states. They called empire. So it is different from the kingdoms. They also need a larger number of officials who collect taxes. Because somewhere in all the states or countries, people spread out there, not only a one person can collect the taxes. So they are appointing officials to collect taxes all over the places under their empire. So what is meant by dynasty? When members of the same family become rulers one after another, then the family is called a dynasty. Here, for example, here we see Chandragupta Maurya. The Maurya dynasty was with three important rulers. This Chandragupta Maurya, his son Bindusara, and Bindusara's son Ashoka. So the Chanakya, great person, is a very familiar in history, ancient period. Not only the ancient period, he has written more. Still now, many of them following his writings. So Kautilya's Arthashastra is a great thing, was written by Chanakya. And he has written about the financial management and economic governance and how to rule the kingdom successfully. All the thing he has written in his Kautilya, that is Arthashastra. A very big kingdom. The lions that we see on our currency notes and coins have a long history. So that is an empire we say here. Here the coins we are seeing in the notes and the rupees, that is the coins. They are called the lion capital. Let me see about the Mauryan Empire. So Chandragupta Maurya, founder of the Mauryan Empire. The empire that Asoka ruled was founded by his grandfather, Chandragupta Maurya, more than 2300 years ago. Chandragupta was supported by a wise man named Chanakya or Kautilya. So because of Chanakya only, he ruled well. Many of Chanakya's ideas were written down in a book called Arthashastra. But there were several cities in the empire. Here, for example, we are seeing here Mathura, Ujjain, Pataliputra, Bharagaza, Takshila. So these included the capital Pataliputra, Takshila and Ujjain. Takshila was the gateway to the northwest, including Central Asia, while Ujjain lay on the route from north to South India. As we are seeing in this map. In other areas, there were villages of farmers and herders also. So they are having a lot of land to farm, and also the herders. They are having a lot of cows, goat, everything. In central India, people gathered forest produce and hunted animals. So ruling the empire. As the empire was so large, as I said, many countries or states, so different parts were ruled differently. The area around Pataliputra was under the direct control of the emperor. So he can't bring all the states or many countries under his control. So only the direct control on Pataliputra. So officials were appointed to collect tax from farmers, herders and traders. Officials also punished those who disobeyed the ruler's orders. So if the officials not following their ruler's orders means they will be punished surely. These officials were given salaries for collecting the taxes from many peoples. Messages went to and fro and spies kept watch on the officials. So, what the officials obeying their rulers' order or not? For watching that, they kept spies also. The emperor supervised them all with the help of a royal family and senior ministers. There were other areas or provinces also there. Each of these was ruled from a provincial capital, such as Takshila or Ujjain. Royal princes were often sent as governors. Local customs and rules were probably followed. Mauryas tried to control roads and rivers, which were important for transport, and to collect whatever resources were available as tax and tribute. Here, what is meant by tribute, we will see. For example, Arthashastra states that the northwest was important for blankets and South India for its gold and precious stones. So, as we see, there were also forested regions. The people living here were more or less independent, but they were expected to provide elephants, timber, honey, and wax to Mauryan officials in the form of tax. It is possible that these resources were collected as tribute. So, what is tribute here? Unlike taxes, which were collected on a regular basis, tribute was collected when it was possible to get from people who gave a variety of things, more or less willingly. So, whatever they had, farmers, they can give grains, rice, and herders in the form of cattle, and forest producers in the form of honey. So, the variety of things as willingly they are giving. The emperor and the capital city. Here, Megasthenes was an ambassador sent to the court of Chandragupta by the Greek ruler of West Asia named Seleucus Nicator. He's just telling that what are all the things happening in a Chandragupta empire. So just want to watch and write about that. For that purpose, he said. As we are seeing in the picture, what are all the things he wrote that the emperor is carried in a golden palanquin, not ordinary golden palanquin. And also he mentioned that his gods ride elephants decorated with gold and silver. So all that, what all the thing he watched in the Mauryan Empire, he just wrote, the king is afraid that someone may try to kill him, and he is always surrounded by armed guards. He has special servants to taste the food before he eats, and he never sleeps in the same bedroom for 2 nights because he is getting afraid of his death. So somebody kill him. That's why he won't sleep at all in the same bedroom for 2 nights. So regarding the capital city, he wrote that Pataliputra is a large and beautiful city. It is surrounded by a massive wall. Massive means a large wall. It has 570 towers and 64 gates. And the houses of two to 3 stories are made of wood and mud bricks. So the way of houses, they just in the form of 2 to 3 stories are made, and also in the wood and also the mud bricks. The king's palace is also of wood and decorated with stone carvings. So these are all the things as written about Pataliputra. Thank you, students. We will meet in the next class.